I can't even lie. I think that looks good. But yeah, what did I just tell you to say?
I am Shantisha Pruitt. I am an athletic trainer. I STEM to be in health and sports advocate. Nutshell. So I thrive, I guess, to be. Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, we know that you love sports. We know that you not only love sports, you know a lot about sports, have a lot of
Yeah.
experience, even with high caliber D1 athletes. So you think it's right that you talk more about sports, specifically health, right?
Yes.
What makes you want to talk about health and sports?
I feel like there's a missing link. We have a lot of different entities that talk about sports. We have a lot of different entities that talk about health, but I haven't seen a whole lot to put those two together.
So tell me how, or a little bit about what's different about how you put them together.
What's different about how I put them together is I see this vision of just connecting those dots easily by having someone talk about their story. There's so many like deep, detailed things that go on behind closed doors. Everyone just sees an athlete and they don't know necessarily how they got back from their injury. And so the thought is like, let's take you through that journey with them. Let them express what it was and what it took to get them back there, and understand that injuries aren't as clear through as everyone thinks they are. I've seen a lot of people talk about like, oh, it's just an ankle sprain. But what kind of ankle sprain was it? Was it grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? Was it a cinematic ankle sprain? Was it lateral or medial? And I feel like there's so many of those details that are missing. So I just kind of want to have that open dialogue with people to say like, hey, it's not just an ankle sprain. There's a lot more to it.
Speaking of a lot more to it, I know this because we have conversations, but I like people to have an awareness of how your conversations of health and athletics do stem from your knowledge of physical health, but there's aspects of mental health and emotional health that also play into having a healthy athlete.
Yes, correct. And so one of the things I learned in school was the disablement model, and that talks about like the holistic approach of trying to help someone, right? So there's not this one piece. You can't attack the injury without attacking, like you said, the mental, the physical, all these things that encompass a person. So I love to take you guys on that journey and figure out like, well, okay, what was that person thinking and how long did it actually take them and why? And sometimes we have these timelines, and the timelines are not always true. So people are like, oh, it should only take them 6 months. But did you know that they also dealt with anxiety and depression during those 6 months? Do you know they didn't have the lack of support they needed in the winter months because they went home for break and didn't have PTs there or ATs there available to them? There's so much. There's so much to dive into, but just a little bit to give to you.
I am going to stun on you a little bit, but you're the person for these conversations because you've got over a decade's worth of experience in in coaching, correct?
Yes.
You personally know a magnitude of D1 athletes, correct?
Absolutely.
You know collegiate students, professional athletes.
Yes.
You know athletes that no longer play and do other things.
Absolutely.
You come from a rich network of, dare I say, black sports professionals in the health field.
Absolutely.
You are experienced in being on teams who are filled with women in positions of leadership.
Yes.
You have a perspective that has a lot of intersectionality about being a minority in a space with a point of view that's not always addressed, right?
Yep.
And because you take care and you know how to attend, I believe your physical knowledge and attention is the kind of attention you put on these conversations that you're starting to have more and more of, right?
And it's so interesting you said that because, like you said, I also have to remember that I'm a mentor, or I have my student athletes looking up to me as, like you said, a minority female trying to thrive in this industry of a predominantly white male field. but also like remembering that I have to make sure I put my best foot forward. So I'm also doing the work as well with them. Something came to you.
Well, I'm waiting. I think of business as a sport.
Yep.
I grew up with a brother, older, phenomenal athlete.
Absolutely.
So I get parallels all the time in my mind between athletics and sports, which is why when I became aware of the shift that you were making, I was interested to help however I could. So why shift? What is shift? Kind of leave us with an understanding of what we can look forward to. What is the shift?
I'm excited about the shift because it's hot topics that are going on, but what really gets me is that shift in point of view of where you guys think it's going to go this way, but it actually went the other way. That's what the shift means to me. Like, you have no idea. Like I said, it's not just clear cut as you think. And when you sit down and we have these conversations with an athlete or another healthcare professional, you're going to see that dynamic change. And there'll be a shift.
I like that shift. I think that shift sounds good.
You gotta relax. I feel you, bro. I do. Gosh, chill, Tisha.
This is what I think as your coach.
Yes.
First of all, what time is it?
7:38.
Now, let's talk straight athletics.
Okay.
We want to get buff. So we work out for 2 hours the first workout, right? No. You know, and in all honesty, let me talk my shift. I mean, we shifted. Oh, and I'm gonna talk to you because I'm talking to myself. Oh man, the level of success that you demand from yourself is you're a dog. You're an athlete. I know that. So empathetically, I can say, yeah, like this is a good one. There's going to be things that we'll refine. It's game tape time. We'll look at it, see the areas that we want to dive more into, steer more away from.
Yeah.
But really, we get back to practice, and we're looking at the playbook. You know, right now it's like an intro. But really, before we even get moving too far, we got to get this regimen down.
Yeah.
You got to get this regimen down. And then that also makes execution easy, right? Practice makes the game second nature if you do it right.
Yeah.
So thinking about the topics, writing out the topics, literally making out this little playbook. You know, what do we talk about?
Yeah.
Who do we talk with? And then once that's etched out, when do we talk? And really, the when is two things. The when is like, when am I going to actually sit down and talk with these people? But then the when is, what is the schedule at which we deliver the content?
Yeah.
Again, once a month, once a week, twice a month, whatever. But some sort of consistency so it can grow and develop. Which again, I can talk for hours about the parallels between development in sports and development in business.
I think once I have the actual topic, because right now I'm obviously speaking very general, right? Because we can talk about anything health-wise, and there's so many things that stem from health, from your high blood pressure to, you know, I have kids that have Crohn's disease and how that affects their healing process, like, and I feel like once we're able to dive deep into some more specifics, I feel like I will have a lot more to talk about that doesn't seem so broad. And that's why I'm thinking, like, I don't even know where to go in this intro because there is so much, like, it's so much I've seen and dealt with. But yeah, when I get to it, we'll get to it. But like you said, we have to have a plan because it can't be broad. It has to be very, like, specific things that are going to grab people's attention, things people have never heard of. Things that need to be talked about more, like, and especially because I really do want to do sickle cell. Like, I really do. And I don't want someone to feel a certain way, but instantly knowing his story and wanting to do that. And I told him, and I was like, you're going to be the first person on my podcast. Like, I want to talk about that. But, like, people don't know enough about it. And we have student athletes that have it and how they dealt with it and the challenges they faced and how they may have had to quit sports because of it. I dealt with athletes that had tumors. I had athletes that had cancer. Like, there's just so much more. And I don't think people know. And that's why it crunches me when I watch sometimes some news reporter says, oh, it's just the whatever. And I'm like, no, it's not. You don't know that person's health history. You don't know that person's family health history. You don't know what else things they're dealing with. They're on ADHD meds or if they're on antidepressant meds and how that might affect their healing process. So, yeah.
Your subject should be what makes athletes healthy.
Yeah.
Right. It should be like the main theme is like, what is a healthy athlete?
Yeah.
What is a healthy athlete? That's the top. Then you can bait people, obviously, with your knowledge of how to make them physically healthy.
Yeah.
Right? But the
Give
bait,
stats, give them the resources.
but the bait is really to hook them about what you've seen that is deeper.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, I saw this particular athlete dealing with this physical thing, but the mental or emotional implications of their life, since I'm their trainer,
Right.
I have a bird's